Let's see Paul Allen's card. Look at that subtle off-white coloring. The tasteful thickness of it. Oh my god. It even has a watermark. Something wrong? Patrick? You're sweating.
And we're back to another episode of Xavier O'Clock. I'm your host, interview guy. Now we are joined by none other than Draco Malfoy, Drake RIGGS. What's happening, my man?
What is up?
Drake RIGGS, dude. We finally fucking got you on, man.
I know. Been about a month in the making. I think you hit me up
This
during
is like a record crowd of this is ground zero type shit, dude. I've never seen record breaking one fucking person here. But like let's just shoot this shit while people fucking converse into this Sunday mass we got going on. Chick-fil-A is closed, but we are not. What's going on, dude? But like, how you been?
Yeah, can't complain, man. You know, summer is in full gear, very, very hot where I am, but I'm sure, you know, you're down in California too, so you got the heat all the time. But yeah, can't complain. Just staying very busy on this year-round MMA calendar that we got. So I'm never bored, thankfully.
Oh, I feel it, man. So can we get an occupation for the layman's, like that we don't know like what a Drake RIGGS does, like, you know. Is he a bum? Is he unemployed?
How dare you?
What does a Drake RIGGS do like on his computer?
Yeah, I'm a full-time MMA writer. You know, you could say journalist, but I don't like to use the journalist word because there's many definitions for it. So I just go by writer because that's what I do mainly, even though I do a lot of video, podcast, interview stuff myself. You can find all that stuff on my channel as well at Drake RIGGS. But yeah, I write for like 6 different outlets. And, you know, I'm going to freeze here throughout the show, just so you know, but I'm still here, as you can see. Yeah, I'm a writer, so covering the sport of MMA, which, of course, we all love. So that's my full-time job, man.
Yeah, no worries, man. So how did you get into the profession, man? So we know like the John Morgans, the Ariel Helwanis, but those are like the heavy hitters, like the guys that get the most spotlight. How did you you're not like a journeyman, but like how do like the people like that don't get the most shine, where did you fall into the fray, man?
So it's really funny, you know, because I never expected or anticipated to be doing this for work or like anything like that. I was a total fan from the beginning, as I think most people are and
Sure,
kind of have to be, you know, especially for just anything you're passionate about. That's where it starts, right? So I became a fan in like 2009, right? The very first fight I ever saw was BJ Penn GSP2. Not a bad one to start with, right? Champ versus champ. The first super fight, the very first real super fight. That was the first one I saw. After I saw that, I was hooked because I was a very big pro wrestling fan. WWE, I was hardcore into that. And then I saw real fighting. I was like, oh, this is fucking way better. This is, you know, you can just tell the difference when you first see it. And so that hooked me. And ever since then, I've been following it hardcore. And I eventually stumbled upon the SureDog forums, which I think was because around this time, 2010, right, which is so crazy to think that was 11 years ago, when Chael versus Anderson 1 happened. Around that time, I was a huge Chael fan, and still Chael is one of my all-time favorites. But after that fight happened and everything, I didn't really understand how MMA worked too much in terms of the business side. And I was like, all right, when are they going to make this rematch? When are they going to, you know, we got to find out. And so I was checking, like Googling every day, when is any news on Chael Anderson 2? When's it going to happen? And so I think that's how I stumbled upon SureDog. And so then I just, you know, lurked for like a year, just read through the forums and everything. And then decided to make an account, posted every so often. And eventually just the uptake went and progressed more and more. And eventually they brought me on as a moderator. And then I worked my way to admin. And I started to do, you know, like Reddit AMAs, right? I started to do that for SureDog. So we called them the SureDog Fighter Q&As. That was my idea, and they haven't done them since because, you know, it was my thing. But so yeah, that was kind of the foot in the door. And after starting that, I was like, well, you know, I could like do recaps or write up what we talked about here for the main site, because the forums and the main SureDog homepage are kind of different. So I suggested that, got to do that a little bit. So I wrote my first article. I remember first thing I ever wrote was a recap for Lorenz Larkin when we spoke to him. And then from there, it just kind of took off and obviously left SureDog. And here we are now, kind of just springboarded, if we could say, off of that.
So you were like, I mean, SureDog was like, it's been there like before you even like stepped in, but like you were
Right.
You were like a pilgrim. You just kind of like you just came, you just had like a Thanksgiving.
I came, I saw, I conquered.
Nice. Yeah, I remember, dude, Chael Sonnen, like he actually had his fucking the first one in like the Oakland Coliseum or something, if I do remember.
Yeah, correctly. It was somewhere around there. Yeah.
And that's insane to me, man. I mean, like there's so much shit like that like parallels like what I wanted to do, man. Like I did like what I was such a fucking WWE nerd, man. Like that's why I wanted to pursue, like I wanted to be like a fucking like I wanted to write the scripts in fucking WWE.
Right.
And then I wanted to become an MMA journalist, but now I just want to become like a screenwriter, like for movies. So it's just like it all just like I can see like where like the cookie crumbles or whatever, like where like you fucking just like kept going with it, and it's just like, damn, I'm such a fucking wash. You know what I mean? It's
right.
just like, because I'm just finishing my shit, and it's just like you actually like pursued it. You know what I mean? Like the pursuit of happiness, like head ass. It's just like so ridiculous, man. You're just bravo, like you actually kept going with it. I mean, I messaged John Morgan, and he actually like took the time to like not take the first question and actually like message me back. And he was like such a
John's a great guy. Man. He's a great guy.
He's like the coolest motherfucker like ever, like the MMA journalists, like the journos out there, man, like even you, man, like just to take the time to like be here is just like something else entirely.
Well, yeah, it's an interesting, like I appreciate you reaching out in the first place. And, it's funny. I have tried to dial back kind of doing these kind of things just because, very busy with what I have going on anyway. But, when you reached out, I thought it was a very nice gesture. So always happy to talk to, I try not to seem like a different guy. We're all just humans, right? So that's pretty much what it comes down to for me.
But we did kind of reach out to you for like a peculiar, like, instance or a peculiar case, like a Benjamin Button, a reason. It was like there was like an instance like in our like little gay community where like a guy like kind of got caught red-handed. There isn't the video out anymore, because the guy
really?
kind of, took it down, just like Jesus Christ, he kind of just like comes in and comes out, or just like Batman or whatever. But he was impersonating you and me and a fuck ton of other characters, and like people, and just like, I don't know if you would call it defamation or, whatever the fuck, but I just found it like super cringe and super like WTF, like what was your take when, you got the first message that somebody was using your likeness and wasn't giving you royalties?
Right. So shout out to Moise, who's in the chat here. If he's still watching, Moise Audio. He actually messaged me, and so before that video came out that you're referencing, he messaged me a couple weeks back because it had been going on for a little bit, right? So I knew about that a little bit earlier than when that big video came out. But yeah, first reaction was obviously very odd. I was very surprised. It's kind of flattering, if we're going to be honest, like that somebody would at least notice me. And I don't know how I got grouped in there because, I'm not. I feel like we do different things, right? Like not to just to be blunt about it, but at the same time, I never really comment the way that he was portraying me to comment. So I'm very curious how I got grouped into that. But no, it's a little scary. I wasn't like afraid of things or anything, but
you do know you were with you were like in his like proximity, like at the fucking at the what was it like the last the McGregor
264.
weigh-ins, right? Like the last.
I don't think he was actually there because if you look at the videos, he was stealing people's content. So he does that as well. But
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, he reposts everything for the clicks. But oh, okay. Well, like yeah, we were joking about that. We were like, what restraining order, what thing is gonna happen? You know, like
oh, I would have loved to meet him. I'll tell you that much because it's like first of all, thank you, Moise. That means so much, man. I appreciate the support. But yeah, it's like as we were talking about a little bit before going on air here, it's like clearly somebody who takes that much time out to do that much talking to themselves, right? Clearly has a little bit of an issue. And I genuinely hope that he gets the help that he clearly needs. But at the same time, fuck you for taking my identity or trying to, right? So that's how I feel a little bit about it, mixed in both ways, because good luck getting away with that, man. Like, I'm not huge or anything, but big enough to where obviously people noticed. So
yeah,
I'm glad that people did realize, Moise, you talking to you like that wasn't me, so I appreciate that. But just very bizarre. I've never had anything like that. So
like you can definitely get away with like impersonating like one of us, like because we're scrubs, but like you have like I think you have like a blue check mark next to you, right?
I do, yes. Yeah.
So like like that's where you fucked up, dude, like straight up. But yeah. I mean like but yeah, moving on. That's like kind of like in the past, and like at the end of the day, I mean like I do relate to him. I mean, he goes to like college and like he's like Mexican and shit, so it's like whatever. But what are you looking forward to next week? You know what I mean? Because I scooted through the seat of my ass crack for Bellator, because I mean betting wise, I don't know. Do you bet by any chance?
I don't bet. I've started to look at the odds a little bit more and everything, but
do you run like a lot of journos? Do you run like you remember Zane Simon?
Yeah, from Bloody Elbow, I know him.
Yeah. I remember he had such an awesome show, the MMA Vivisection.
Right.
That shit was fire. But I don't know if he does it anymore. But like he did it with him and like this other dude, and he just like ran through like the card. And it wasn't even like, I don't even remember if they were even like fucking good at like predicting like the fights, but they were just like the banter, It was like sitcom worthy,
Yeah, and Zane, he's also a big movie buff, so.
Oh, I know, and his tattoos, fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
he's
fire.
great.
Zane is like Zane's the shit. But where was I going with this? Oh yeah, the point is yeah, dude, the journalists, dude, like they have Moxie and betting, right? So do you run like a show? In the same vein for all of us like fucking degenerates to like group, like huddle together like every week or whatever before we splurge.
I have a couple podcasts. In terms of one that's betting specific, not really. I was working on trying to start a little bit of something with the body lock, but we're kind of still figuring things out on that end. It was kind of looking at the most ridiculous kind of odds of the week and saying, how off they are and that kind of thing, which, I think we're pretty knowledgeable when it came to that. And there is, one episode we did of that out if you want to go see it. But sure. I have a, weekly podcast, WMA Today podcast every Monday. I do Broaden Horizon, which features all the great Japanese talent, Ryzen fighters out there. But yeah, in terms of betting specifically, I mean, I can just give you my thoughts on the matchups and everything, and if I agree with the odds, like as I was saying right there. But I don't really break down those types of things a whole lot. But I do my best.
Yeah, no. Do you have any spicy stories from your days of traveling? Because obviously you have a press pass, right?
Yeah. No, I go every month usually to the pay-per-view events. But spicy stories, I mean, be a little more specific. There's always something going on.
I mean, I don't mean to sound like, like your grandchild, just trying to like reminisce about, like
all good.
The war or whatever. But, like, do you have any like scenes from like the bygone era, of like fucking Tito Ortiz, like, fucked up, you know, like at the
let's see.
you know, Golden Corral, you know, like what have you, Applebee's, like shit like that?
Anything like that. Well, I mean, nothing. Okay, here, I'm not going to name names, but I've been in the proximity of fighters or, you know, fighters, whoever, who have tried to say seduce some women, you know, like very blatantly.
Like
and
Shamrock.
no, I don't know if Frank does that, but you know, that kind of thing has happened before. In terms of like super drunk fighters or anything, nothing too crazy. I mean, there's generally little insider knowledge. There's generally like hotel lobby parties. Like after the events, everyone goes back to the hotel lobby and there's the fighters. Everybody's there. Usually the ones that just fought, other ones who are visiting. That generally happens. So that's always a fun time. But I don't know. Nothing is coming straight to mind. Sorry. I mean, hey, I actually had tequila.
Sorry,
I had tequila with Ali Malay McFarlane and Mike Beltran after she defended the title against Vita Ortega in San Jose. Yeah, we were all having tequila in the lobby, so that was really fun.
That's fucking sick, dude. What was the most intense fight Drake has seen live, Jack?
Most intense fight. That's a great question, man. Honestly, it might sound weird. I mean, but just recently with Adesanya and Vettori, that one had a very interesting vibe to it because I think mainly because of Vettori and how intense that guy is just in life. You know, he's a very angry Italian man, but I think that you could really feel that being, you know, right cage side. And you know, I thought he would do a whole lot better than he ended up doing. So right as they were walking out, and their entrances were fucking awesome, man. Like, I'm sure it did not resonate the same on TV, but like Adesanya coming out to Linkin Park, I don't remember which song it was like, oh man, this is awesome. And Vettori with the Motello theme song was kind of funny, but it was cool at the same time. So yeah, that was pretty intense, and that was a recent one, obviously. In terms of guys who come off as very intense, Vanderlei and Rampage, what was it? Their third or fourth fight at Bellator 206. I was there for that one. And, you know, I expected that to be a little bit ridiculous. And it was, but a little intense just because they're those characters. But I don't know. I might say Vettori Adesanya. Yeah, because he was a wild man at the press conference, Jack. There is no doubt about that. That was very entertaining. I couldn't understand anything they were saying, but it was very fun to watch.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. Yeah, they were just out decimaling each other, you know, just out mongoloiding each other. It's fucking, you know, hilarious. You know, just a meme out memeing each other is fucking beautiful, man.
Much more entertaining than the last.
Kind of lackluster, but yeah, no, it was good shit, man. Adesanya is the middleweight goat. Vettori is a character. I think I have to pick him over Costa, you know, because he's just an alcoholic and it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that'll be.
And Vettori is just wearing his shorts backwards, is foreshadowing. Yep.
Oh right.
100% agree, man.
But
hilarious. Yeah, man. I mean, like I would have to, just because I'm always just looking forward ahead to lose more money. I mean, who do you have in the middle, because it's just a middleweight fight just next week, man? I mean, who do you have, Gastelum or Cannonier, man?
You know, it's a very tricky one, right? Because this was supposed to be Costa versus Cannonier, and it's not super short notice for Kelvin or anything like that. And Cannonier Cannonier coming looking to rebound off of what he broke his arm against Robert Whittaker, and you know, he lost decisively to Robert Whittaker, which happens. Whittaker's amazing, but it's tough because again, you look at what they both just lost to Whittaker, didn't they? Gastelum in the Whittaker fight, obviously Whittaker looked absolutely incredible, but I think it wasn't so much that. Yeah, I think it was more that than Kelvin looked terrible. I thought Kelvin actually looked pretty good. He was doing literally the best he could, but it just wasn't enough because Robert Whittaker is that damn good. So I think that if Kelvin could come in, like we know that he can and has shown us many times, he should be able to do pretty darn well against Cannonier. I think he needs to try and wrestle a lot more. That was a big thing that I thought was very interesting in that Whitaker fight, was he didn't really try to wrestle much at all, which we know he's got that background. And on his rise, he really showed that was a strong point of his. And then Whitaker kind of showed us, no, I can wrestle too in that 5th round, which was, mind blowing. Not mind blowing, but it's surprising to see him do so well as he did against Kelvin right there. And Cannonier, obviously hits very hard for middleweight, former heavyweight. The guy looks like a completely different person now. For him, I think he just needs to stay patient, because if Kelvin does come after him the way that we have seen him able to do against people, he should be able to have success, find some shots. Kelvin's clearly very hittable. We'll see if that chin has been cracked now, but he's notoriously tough as well. So somehow didn't get finished against Adesanya in that incredible fight that they had. But I don't know, man.
A lot of people like forget that I think he was like up on the cards until like he got in the 5th, annihilated in the 5th.
Just
like Dragon Ball Z in the 5th. Yeah, but I don't know, man. It's just like there's like, I guess Cannonier could like kick TKO him, but I don't know, man. I think Gastelum can just like refrigerator dog him out, because we've just seen it time and time again, man. He's just like the more durable, customer.
Right.
Like, I don't know, man. It's just like, even though he's just like a midget at middleweight, and Cannonier is literally like an Alaskan heavyweight, like coming down to middleweight. Like, I don't know. It's just like I think I have to take Gastelum, even though he's only had a track record of beating old men.
Right.
It's kind of like weird, man. But I think Cannonier is like not a spring chicken, if I'm not correct. If I'm like, it's kind of like it, man. It's like such a. I don't know.
He's 37, so he's almost 40.
Oh yeah, Cannonier's 37. Yeah, well, yeah. I think I'm
the funny thing about him though is like I've realized that I have counted him out a lot. Like when he beat Jack Hermanson, Cannonier.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I was very surprised. I did not expect him to beat Hermanson when he did, and then just to kind of. I wasn't surprised by the Silva one, because Silva's obviously, older now. But he's just a guy.
Did you pick him against Whitaker?
No, definitely not. I've been one of those guys who I've been on the Whitaker train for a long time, and I still feel like the only guy who can beat him is Adesanya, and that's been the case so far. So, I don't know. This one's very tough to pick, man. But like you said, I believe in Kelvin a little bit more than maybe we should, but it's just. When he looks good, he looks good. And you said old guys, so Cannonier is getting up there.
Though, yeah, if he's not old or like Heinisch, and Heinisch is kind of like Garbaggio, like he doesn't really. I
didn't think that was too great of a win either.
Yeah, Heinisch is, he couldn't even survive to the decision against the French guy. So it's just it's unfortunate. Does Mr. Riggs have a favorite philosopher? That's a great fucking question.
Nostradamus.
It's funny. There was another fucking journalist that went by Nostradamus. Did you know that guy?
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, he was the guy that gave picks on Friday, and he was pretty good actually. But like, I didn't even know who the fuck he actually.
What happened to him? He's gone now.
He's evaporated, man. Like, I don't even know. Yes. Yeah. Like I've been off ever since. But yeah. Oh man. Jeez. So yeah, like MMA, obviously that's the move. Journalism. If like obviously the Delta variant, that's the thing that's happening, and it shuts down the UFC, and you got to write about like golf,
Oh boy. Impossible.
Like, or like anything else. Like, is there like a fallback plan? Like, do you have like a minor in something?
No. So that's another thing. Like I haven't gone to college at all, and I don't know how old you are, man, but I'm 25, so I might look a little bit older. You've been mentioning the college stuff. Like I could be in college, but I never went to college. Don't have any writing backgrounds outside of high school stuff, and I've managed to do, thankfully pretty well. In terms of fallback stuff. In terms of sports and writing, I would like to continue to stay in this thing. If for some reason MMA disappeared worldwide, I love movies too, man, and I've always wanted to maybe like write about review type things or something to do with like acting, and that was kind of my first passion. You know, I did look at film schools a couple years back after I graduated. Just never, you know, kind of pulled the trigger on it, but I really wanted to get into like filmmaking and that kind of thing. So that is something I guess that'll always be there, but it's obviously something that's very difficult to get into. But in
like,
terms of
what do you think of like filmmaking in your opinion? Is it like just like the Safdie bros and just like fucking like South by Southwest and just a bunch of like bullshit, or is it just like also you got to go to like technical school or you got to go to like NYU? Like, what do you actually think of like like making film, or you got to go on Craigslist and just make like garbage movies? Like,
yeah, I mean, that's kind of the beauty of it, right? Is I don't know if there's a good answer for that. And of course, everyone who is maybe in positions and have made it, you know, will say that you got to do this and that because that's, you know, probably what they did. But that I think that's the beauty of it, kind of like here with MMA media, which is kind you can just get into it.
It's hilarious that you were able to carve like MMA media to me is like the niche of all niches, dude. Like I cannot even believe you like made something of it. Like
yeah, I can't like either.
The mother of all fist bumps, dude. Like fucking sick, bro. Like that's awesome, man. But it's just like film is also like fucking. It's all about who you know, and that's so like such a boomer fucking phrase. But it's like I think it still rings true. Like. Unfortunately, and it's like super cringe, but it's like,
I mean, honestly, man, even in MMA media, I've started to notice a lot more over the years I've been doing it now, which I believe this would be we're in like my 6th year or something. So geez, almost halfway to 10. But I've noticed that like to get to some of the big outlets, kind of like, let's say the Junkies, the Fightings, and you know, I'm cool with a lot of those people. I know a lot of them now, but I've noticed in some cases it still is you know, depends on who you know kind of thing. So that's just the case in life, unfortunately. You know, it kind of helps to be friends with everyone. So that's a good lesson, actually, is don't be a dickhead if you don't have to be.
Definitely, yeah. Jimmy the Drunk.
Oh, this is amazing.
Asks, F, Marry, Kill. Gaethje what the fuck is this question? Gaethje versus Palomino 1. TKZ versus Leonard Garcia. Chandler versus Alvarez 1. I don't know how to like interpret that as fuck, marry, or kill. Like,
so think about it. This is how I interpret
fights, but you gotta like fuck one and then marry one and then kill one.
So if you were to kill one, that means that go without it, or you think it's the worst, right? And then fuck it. You think it was maybe the best, and then marry though is the one that has the most rewatchability, right? That's how I'm taking this.
You nailed it, bro. You're like you're good. You're amazing.
That is tough though. Those are all fantastic fights. I love Jimmy. I'll tell you, I love the shout of Gaethje Palomino 1. That is a very underrated
bro.
shout.
I would kill that one immediately, dude. But like in my opinion, but then I would marry. No, I would marry the Chandler one, and then I would fuck the Leonard.
Yep,
I really like the Zombie and Leonard one. Like that's my point. But like the Alvarez one is
dude, Chandler Alvarez 1 to me might be the best fight ever. Like that fight was absolutely insane.
It's very good.
You look at the time of that. Yeah, that was the one that made Chandler a star. No one gave him a chance. That was Good question though, Jimmy. Very creative.
Yeah, no, he's very, very good. Yeah, but who do you have in the Chandler and Gaethje?
Oh God, you want to talk about fantasy wet dreams right there? I mean, I am so fingers crossed that this still happens, you know, because Chandler's talking about maybe not being able to make it to the fight or whatever, but they got to make this fight happen. I've wanted to see this for so long. I actually wrote a story. You guys can go look at this on bjpenn.com in 2018. I think it was I was asking the MMA gods, can we please at some point, I don't care when, I just need to see Michael Chandler versus Justin Gaethje before they are done fighting. And what do you know, 3 years later, looks fingers crossed, it looks like we're getting it.
Insane.
I just cannot see it being absolutely amazing or a quick starching, which would suck. I want to see an absolute all-out war, which these guys can provide, and the skill sets they have, they can go anywhere. Man, it's
I don't mean to be that guy, but I mean, do you think Chandler can do a war, man? Can even do like one of his old like
one of the Alvarez fights, throwback to that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you look at those since that time, I mean, they've both taken plenty of damage. Gaethje maybe not so much recently, but you know, this last stretch that he went on after the losses that he had before Khabib, and then Chandler, you know, it's. I guess that he has proven to be a little bit chinnier than Gaethje, who Gaethje obviously he gets rocked about every fight, you know, before this run that he went on, but he's been able to absorb so much up until that point, regardless. So I guess if I was to bank on somebody's chin holding up, it would definitely be Gaethje's for longer than Chandler's. But Chandler, man, he still has.
But I feel like if Chandler
hands.
catches him, I think like he has like bombastic shots that are not even remotely like, I mean, like Gaethje's like, Jesus Christ, I don't know, like I'm not even a Chandler simp.
See, it's so hard. It's so
hard.
I love it.
Probably like I'm projecting, like if you catch what I'm saying, man, it's just like I think like if Chandler like just catches him like 3 times, he's gonna change his life, dude. Like at this point, you know, in their careers. Yeah. But at the end of the day, dude, it's just like Chandler is like Glass Joe from Mike Tyson's Punch Out at this point, dude. He's just like not gonna. He doesn't even last, dude. Like it's just so sad, dude. Like he's like the perfect fighter, man. He's got wrestling. He's got he's fast, but he's got no like. He doesn't even have like basic boxing, dude. Like the way he got caught with Oliveira's check hook was just like he didn't even have his hands up. It was just like
he got too excited. I think he just rushed out there after that first round.
Adrenaline dump and excited, and he was just like a Blumpkin, dude. Like straight up, I did not appreciate his like rudimentary, like, you know, jobberness, man. Like it was just not a good time, man. Yeah, because we were all in like a StreamYard and we were watching, and we had like Chandler on one side and Oliveira on the other side, and it was like the most like, you know, like Chandler the first round and then Oliveira the comeback, and we were all just like, it was hilarious, man. But yeah, man, I would love Chandler to win just because, you know, he's like, we the people, Jack Swagger, do not want fucking Chandler to be another aspirin, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, I think he's already. I love Ben Askren. I think he's made it past that, you know, by having a clean first win and then a very good, very
clean first win.
You know, against
half and half.
Yeah. And then the Oliveira fight was fun and he had success. It's not like he got knocked out in 4 seconds.
I mean, but he's like permanently like shell shocked by it. He won't shut the fuck up about his loss. You know, he's like giving TED Talks about it. It's just like
gotta do what you gotta do, I guess.
Yeah. When you haven't talked about it in 5 minutes, but he's just like, I don't know. I think he's gonna literally like keep. I think he can destroy Gaethje, man. But it's just like Gaethje doesn't even have to catch him with anything nice, you know. Whereas Chandler has to like separate him from consciousness, like he did Hooker, you know, like the perfect setup and what have you, you know. But you know, it's gonna be sick. Oh, you know, man. He just got to get vaxxed, you know, the fucking boomer conservative that he is, you know, and just. And just fucking do it, you know, just like for fuck's sake. But that reminds me, and then like we're just gonna wrap this up. But I mean, just before that, I think this is like a very integral question because that reminded me of that Madison Square Garden card that got canceled. Who did you have going into that shit? Colby or Kamaru?
So, first of all, not totally canceled yet. They haven't made a decision on that, I don't think.
Oh,
but,
dude, that shit is so fucking canceled.
I mean, most likely. Most likely.
Dude. It's fucking
good point.
It's Escape from New York, dude. Like, there's no fucking.
Fair enough. But yeah, Colby, Kamaru too. Boy, a very interesting one. And you know, I think it's pretty fair to say, at least I felt that Colby went on his way to winning that fight in the first time around until he didn't. And obviously hasn't been very active since then, only the Woodley fight. But, you know, Covington is still, I think the time isn't going to matter for him. And he's a guy who I do struggle to see him losing to anyone not named Usman. And Usman has just shown us to be an absolute, even more of a nightmare since then. You know, not Nigeria nightmare, mind you, since that first fight. So like, I feel like it's very hard not to lean towards Usman just because of the activity and what he's done in that activity. Absolutely dominated Masvidal the first time, knocked out Burns after, a little bit of a scare, but he still put him away. Great championship fight IQ to adjust like that. And then to absolutely separate Masvidal from the galaxy. That was one of the most beautiful knockouts ever. I was there for that one too.
Nice.
It looked like a movie. That was incredible stuff. Yeah, I think I think Colby should try and at least mix in the wrestling this time, because that was a thing that in that first fight, we knew they're both fantastic wrestlers. Thought we could practically guarantee that. Nope, not a single attempt really from anybody, which led to an amazing fight. It was awesome back and forth, but you would think that, either of them would try and get the better of the other in the wrestling, but that's just kind of how it's been, right? When you have two specialists in one area, sometimes they'll cancel out. So I'm very curious to see if one of them tries to do that this time. I think it would be in Colby's best interest, and I think that he will. I think he'll make the adjustments to do that. Will it matter? Don't know, maybe, but just having seen what Usman's been able to do since that first fight, in comparison, the Woodley fight for Colby was more of the same from Colby. It didn't show us anything really new. But yeah, man, I think that it's just Colby has a chance for sure, but to pick against Usman right now, it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah. I mean, it's like plus 200 though. I mean, like, you got to do what you got to do, and it is what it is. But yeah, Warley, I agree. But I mean, if he loses again, then where does Colby, like, where does he stand, dude, as a character, as a human being? Like,
I mean, I honestly thought he was going to be done after that first loss, because a character like that, when you take a hit of any kind, it's hard to continue keeping that up and being taken seriously, which no one really did take him seriously as a character before anyway. But after, losing like that and getting finished, it's like, oh man, doesn't look great. But if he loses twice, yeah, that's, I don't know if there's any coming back from that. Like, I legit thought that once he lost, he was going to, I don't know, have some kind of temper tantrum or sorts. I thought he might go to Bellator, like completely just leave the UFC altogether, but he's stuck around. He's kept it up. So props to him for that, I guess. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how another loss would do for him. But man, could you imagine if he wins though? Like, he'll be unbearable. I mean, that's more unbearable.
I mean, that's like literally like low key the only move for the welterweight division, man. I mean, just for like the matchups alone, man. I mean,
right.
Kamaru's cleaned out the house like 2 times over.
Yeah,
I just want fucking new fights, man.
Fresher matchups, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, real quick, did you hear about did you know that ATT, like the owner, Dan Lambert, has like a podcast or whatever, and he does like fucking like midget little interviews with like basically just like his own people, at the moment, like Jorge and whatever.
But all right, I saw a clip from that.
Yeah, it's pretty like low rent at the moment, like this. But I assume it's gonna expand. But he did one with Andrei Arlovsky, and Andrei Arlovsky, they brought up Fedor, his loss to Fedor, and he accused Fedor of being on EPO.
Of course they did.
Of course they did. I'm like, dude, you're such a sore loser, man. Like butthurt a million, like just
that's hilarious.
Like,
that fight was 10 years ago.
I know, that's what I'm saying, dude. He's just like fucking Dinkelberg, It's just like get over yourself.
Dinkelberg.
What's up, Red Glove? Do you believe? Okay, we got to comment. Do you believe the low kick takeover has anything to do with John Jones fighting less and being less dominant? This guy's a John Jones ass licker, by the way.
Oh, gross. No, I don't think so. Because I mean, John Jones didn't really do calf kicks. Like, yeah, he did the obliques and everything, but a little bit different. So in the time period, I guess it kind of lines up with that time period, and we haven't really seen anyone get to do that to John just yet, if we do at all. But no, I don't think I would correlate those two very much. I think it's just maybe the fighter's catching up a little bit. And John's been around for a long time. There's a lot of tape to study on the guy now, and so I don't know if I would put those hand in hand together.
Cyril Gane or John Jones or Francis Ngannou, who wins?
They both beat John. They both beat John. I don't believe in John Jones as a heavyweight, first of all, at him even going to heavyweight. I think this is just all to, just to stay a little bit in the news or whatever. But until he actually has a fight signed at heavyweight, I don't believe it's going to happen. And once he gets there, I mean, it's just a different set of boys. Even
Stipe beats John, right?
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's just a big difference. And you look at Jones, the only people that he's fought that have had at least similar sizes in terms of length, frame, and all of that. Reyes, Gustafsson, not Santos necessarily, but these guys, the bigger, longer guys, aside from the second Gustafsson fight, he, whatever that is, but they did very well against John, and they arguably beat him. And then you add on top of that the power of somebody like Francis, or even Cyril and Stipe. They land a clean shot. John's never had that on him before, and his advantages are just going to be gone. So can't trust it until I see it.
Does Tito sleep Anderson in the first? Yes or
yes? Well, I guess we have to go with yes.
Yeah, it's no. Nah, probably not. I just think Anderson is like really good at boxing, and Tito is like a bum at boxing. He sucks, dude. Like
I still can't believe that's happening.
Yeah, dude. It's just Logan got scared, man. I mean, it's just who cares, dude? Just
right? Yeah, I
really
don't.
Fucking hate it, man. It's whatever. Yeah, it gives me like low T just thinking about it. It's just like it's whatever, man. But I mean, on that note, honestly, I'm just gonna like go into like a depression nap. And thank you guys for all coming, and thank you, of course, Drake Riggs. You know what I'm saying, man? With the one and only. Do you wanna say anything? Do you wanna like declare anything of note?
I mean,
about your shit.
Yeah.
Whatnot.
Of course.
Again.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well,
one time.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much, man, for hanging out on a Sunday. Appreciate it. We've been trying to make this happen for about a month now, so we got it done. But if you guys are interested in keeping up with me a little bit more, greatly appreciate that. Can find me on Twitter and Instagram at @DrakeRiggs_. Not so much of an Instagram guy, always on Twitter. There you can find all my stuff, all the interviews and stories and everything that I'm working on, and my YouTube channel, Drake Riggs. Have a bunch of interviews that came out this past week, and got some coming this week as well. Always busy writing for 6 different outlets and all that, and in-person coverage, all that. I'm all over the place, you guys. So if you want to keep up, then I appreciate it.
Yeah, he's getting impersonated. That
exactly
means it's a big fucking deal, right? Let's follow like the real McCoy. All right, peace, guys. Let's fucking pray.